It's time to review Spring Valley's turmeric and curcumin with ginger because at this point it's one of the most affordable turmeric supplements I could find on the market, but price is pretty much the only good thing about it because its formula, doses, and absorption are really weak. Now, I know it only costs $13 per bottle, but is it really worth that despite all of its problems? Well, here's my honest review and analysis of it. Hello guys, this is Ollie from Her Recommendations, bringing you supplements and health product reviews, so if you want to stay updated with my posts, consider subscribing. Also, you can see this full review on my website, mysupplementadvice.com, via the first link from the description. Back to Spring Valley's product. I'm going to divide my review in two parts, the summary and the full analysis, so let's start with the first one. If I had to describe Spring Valley's product in only one word, it would be cheap. It's actually really cheap in terms of price, but it also has a very cheap quality and effect overall. Actually, if you want me to be honest, I would have to say that it's one of the weakest turmeric supplements I reviewed and came across. That's because it has some really major absorption issues and its overall doses are also really low. Even so, it really works for some people and for certain issues, but I actually consider it more of a general health supplement than an anti-inflammatory product. But if you have a chronic pain or inflammation, it will surely not help considerably. This is why it's not among my top recommended products. It's true that it's really affordable and it has a really low price, and this is why many people choose it. But if you have a major health problem, something like arthritis or an inflammatory condition, I would surely not recommend it because it's not strong enough to work properly. I know that price is an issue for many people and that most of you don't go for an expensive supplement because you simply cannot afford it. But I actually have a cheaper alternative that only costs $10 more compared to Spring Valley's product. So if you're interested, you might want to check that instead. It has a much better formula and a much stronger effect overall, so it's totally a lot more worth the money compared to Spring Valley's product. This being said, it's time to get to my full analysis on Spring Valley's turmeric and curcumin with ginger. And I'm going to start by taking a look at its claims and company behind. Unlike many turmeric supplements, Spring Valley's product doesn't make any big promises, which is definitely something I actually like about it. Instead, its claims are rather general, according to its description. It supports healthy immunity and inflammatory response. It also promotes cardiovascular health, and lastly, it helps skin health and general wellness. Now, these are its benefits on paper, but due to its absorption issues that I'm going to tell you more about later on, I'm not really sure it can actually do this. As for the producer, this supplement is made by a brand called Spring Valley. You might have heard of this company because it's been on the market for a really long time and it has a good reputation overall. It's mostly focused on producing supplements with a natural base, and most of them have a really cheap price overall. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but in many cases, cheap supplements also have a really weak effect and a pretty poor quality overall. But in terms of company, I would actually say that Spring Valley has a good reputation overall and it's a brand that you can trust in. This is by far the number one problem of this supplement. Compared to other turmeric products on the market, this one has a really weak formula overall, and I'm saying this for two reasons. First of all, its doses are really low overall, and secondly, the supplement itself has a poor absorption. That's pretty much why its effect isn't very strong and why it doesn't have such powerful anti-inflammatory properties as other turmeric supplements. Now, there are three ingredients in this supplement: turmeric powder, turmeric extract, and ginger powder, so I'm going to take a closer look at each. I'm going to start with turmeric powder. You should know that this ingredient is the main compound in most turmeric products, but in this supplement it comes in a much lower quantity. There are only 500 milligrams of turmeric powder in Spring Valley supplement, while most turmeric products on the market contain between 1000 and 1500 milligrams. So if you make the calculations, the dose from Spring Valley's product is about half, but that's not even the biggest problem. In fact, the major issue of this supplement is absorption, and let me explain. Turmeric is very poorly absorbed by the human body, and this is the reason why many turmeric supplements contain absorption boosters. In case you heard of BioPerine, you should know that it's the most popular absorption booster, and it's actually the extract of black pepper, so it's not an exotic or uncommon ingredient. But according to some studies, it increases turmeric absorption by up to 2000%, so this is a major number. However, Spring Valley's product doesn't contain any milligram of BioPerine or any other absorption booster, so you can pretty much tell that its absorption rate is going to be a lot lower compared to most supplements. So if you make some calculation, out of its 500 milligrams of turmeric, less than half are going to get absorbed by our body. Turmeric extract is another common ingredient in turmeric supplements. As you can pretty much tell, it is the extract of the powder before, and it has a much better effect since it's a lot more concentrated. But Spring Valley's product has another problem at this chapter in terms of doses and quantity. It only contains 50 milligrams of turmeric extract, while most turmeric supplements on the market contain between 75 and 100. So besides its lower dose, it's also affected by the absorption issues I mentioned before. And lastly, the ginger powder. This isn't very common in turmeric supplements, and it does have an anti-inflammatory effect, but it is much weaker than turmeric. This is why I wouldn't count too much on it when it comes to the general effect. As a conclusion, Spring Valley's product has a really weak formula in my opinion. It has really low doses in most ingredients, and it has a really poor absorption rate. Spring Valley's supplement looks surprisingly well at this chapter. Its pills look like classic turmeric pills. They have average dimensions, a gelatin cover, and an orange powder inside, and overall they're pretty easy to swallow with water. As for its dosage and schedule, this supplement only requires 1 pill per day, which is a major advantage. That's because most turmeric supplements require at least 2, and in many cases 3 pills per day, which is more inconvenient. So Spring Valley's product does have an advantage at this chapter. In order to analyze this supplement efficiency and strength, I decided to look at its customers' opinion, and for this reason I picked Amazon because I know that those reviews there are always made by real customers. Now I have to admit that I was positively surprised by this supplement's feedback. That's because I expected a lot more complaints than I actually found. It's true that there are both positive and negative reviews, but there are enough praises, so it definitely works for some people. Now I'm going to start with the positive reviews I found. Among the reasons that previous users praised this supplement for are its effect on general health, its really low price, the fact that it replaces daily vitamins successfully, and its effect on circulation. Basically, most of the positive reviews I found on this supplement were related to its general health benefits, and I could find very few opinions from people suffering from chronic pain or a major inflammation. Plus, many of the positive reviews I found were very short and lacked many essential details. So I pretty much think that this supplement does work for some people, but most of them have some minor health issues or some really small inflammatory problems. On the negative side, I found enough complaints on this supplement as I somehow expected. So let me tell you what most of them are related to. Many people say they couldn't see any improvement while using this supplement. Others claim that it doesn't work at all for chronic joint pain. And there are also some saying that it does help, but only slightly. And there's one more thing, I could find many complaints on this supplement about its side effects. I personally didn't expect it to cause any side effects considering that it has really low doses, but there are many complaints at this chapter, so they are surely true. As a conclusion at this chapter, Spring Valley's turmeric supplement has mixed reviews overall. It has some positive reviews from people with minor problems, but it also has enough complaints. So considering these things, I personally would probably not recommend it. It has way too many negative reviews to be a quality supplement, and it also has some pretty bad features overall. So in terms of customer feedback, I personally would not recommend it. As I said, Spring Valley supplement has a couple of complaints in this chapter, and apparently the most common side effect that appear in many people is stomach pain. Some users complain that it's a lot worse than in other turmeric supplements, and others say that it lasts a lot, around 24 to 36 hours. Plus, there's one more thing, some people also complain about diarrhea. Now, stomach pain is a pretty common side effect in every turmeric supplement, and there's a pretty easy way to fight it. All you have to do is to take the pills while or after eating. In this way, your stomach isn't empty, so turmeric cannot cause any stomach pain. As for the diarrhea, there's no solution yet. It's pretty much a side effect that appears in some people and it doesn't appear in others, and it depends a lot on the exact product. So I personally recommend switching to another turmeric supplement and seeing whether it also causes you diarrhea or not. In terms of price, Spring Valley's turmeric supplement seems like a great deal, but in terms of quality per price, it's definitely far from that. Now, Amazon is the retailer that sells most of Spring Valley's products, and overall it has the best price among all retailers. This supplement costs $12.88 per bottle. Shipping is free since we're talking about Amazon, but you can get an even better price if you buy 2 bottles at once. Now, I know that $13 per bottle sounds like a really great deal, and that's because most turmeric supplements cost about $20 and $25, and this one only costs $13. But there's a big difference in them in terms of quality. That's because those $20 turmeric supplements that I'm talking about have a much better quality and much better formulas, and not to mention that they also have a higher absorption, while Spring Valley's product is really weak from all these points of view. So I personally don't think that it's worth even $13. And since we're talking about price, I actually want to compare Spring Valley's turmeric supplement with my top recommended turmeric product. I'm talking about Turmeric Curcumin Plus from Vita Balance. So, Spring Valley supplement costs $13 per bottle normally, but it has low dosages and a poor absorption. On the other hand, Turmeric Plus from Vita Balance costs $24 per bottle normally, and in terms of formula, it's a lot more superior. It has great doses and an absorption enhancer. But both products come with discounts if you buy larger quantities. In this way, Spring Valley's product costs as little as $11 per bottle, while Turmeric Plus costs about $16 per bottle in this case. So, in my opinion, Turmeric Plus makes a much better choice overall. It's true that it costs about $10 more, but its quality overall is also more than 10 times higher. Now, this isn't the only quality alternative I know to Spring Valley's product. There are actually many other supplements, but most of them cost a lot more, and by this I mean that they cost around $30 or $40 per bottle. On the other hand, Turmeric Plus makes by far the cheapest choice for this quality, so this is why it is my top recommendation and my top alternative to Spring Valley's product. As a conclusion, even though Spring Valley's turmeric is really affordable and it has a really low price, I personally could not recommend it. It has a really poor quality overall, so I don't really think that it's worth even $13 per bottle. Now it's totally up to you whether you want to try it or not. It does work in some small health problems and in some minor inflammatory affections. But if you have a chronic pain or a chronic inflammation, I would really not recommend it because it's not strong enough to work for real. So, is Spring Valley Turmeric with curcumin and ginger worth the money? Well, by now I think that you can pretty much guess my opinion on it, and no, I don't think that it is worth it at all. It's definitely not a scam, but it's far from a quality product either. That's because it has a poor formula with really low doses and pretty low quality ingredients. Its absorption is also very weak. It doesn't work very well for inflammatory pain unless it's a really minor issue, and its actual value is a lot less than $13 per bottle. Its poor absorption is by far the biggest problem I could find, and there are lots of studies at this chapter, but even so, the company didn't do anything about it, and for this reason I couldn't possibly recommend this kind of supplement. I told you more before about my alternative and why I think that it is a much better choice overall, so in case you're interested in that supplement, you can find out more in the description. Now, that was pretty much my opinion on Spring Valley's turmeric with curcumin and ginger. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this review and that my analysis on it helped you. So whether you want to try this supplement or not, it's totally up to you. All I can wish you is to take the right decision for you. So see you next time in my next video.